Good morning, good morning. I hope everyone's having a good Sunday. Good morning to you. Dap da doop da 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 do. So I'm just in a singing mood today. So let's hopefully get this game done today because I have another story-based game I got to start either later tonight after the Mavs game or start it tomorrow morning, depending how everything goes with how long the Mavs game stays on and how drunk I get. It would be nice if they go up 3-0 because Boston's up 3-0 and well, yeah, it's kind of there's a good chance we might see a sweep in both of the NBA conference championship games. Which I will say this, Dave, if it ends up being your Celtics against my Mavs, just know you will be an enemy for at least till the series is over, which probably could happen. All right, but let's get back to this. That black dress makes her skin look whiter than ever. Her slender arms are still at her sides like a bundle of sticks or bleached bones. Them bones, them bones, them bones. She must have approached me silently, so silently while I was lost in thought, busy pondering at those bruises she left behind. Her footsteps are silent, even now, like those of a cat's. She doesn't make any noise, not even as the wind plays through her hair or tugs at her skirt. I'm sure Tassic's happy he's not awake for this. I'm so happy, Robin. She comes to a halt standing before me. I can hear the beating of her heart, even though we're not touching, separated by just a hail's breadth. I can't debate the final points of Belle's extension now. I have too much proof. Before today, perhaps I could have convinced myself Belle was nothing more than an illusion. A delusion. But now I know. The bruises on my neck, Belle's lips against my skin, the beating of her heart, make it such prostication sound silly. Shuri is real, and this is not a dream. Even if I pinch my arm, I'm not going to wake up. I've fallen too far for that. I'm so happy that you came back to me. For some reason, I knew you'd be waiting. I'm glad I had faith in you. She blinks up at me from underneath her long, sooty eyelashes, a smile on her face. Well, I can be very persuasive. She reaches forward, the tips of her white fingers brushing against one of the ugly bruises on my neck. I flinch back, shivering. Her hands are cold like ice, and her touch chills me. You know, Belle, I was wondering something about that umbrella you had today. But Belle places one finger against my lips, silencing me. Her touch is so icy it draws my breath out of my lungs. Let's go. I want to take you somewhere. What? Where? I'm stuttering. I can't help it. I can't say anything to her. I can't fight against her. She was right. I already belonged to her. Captivated. Mesmerized. All it took was one glance from her bright green eyes and I was under her spell. She's a man-eater. She'll chew you up. She might have taken the form of a black cat, but she's no familiar. She would make more than a acquainted witch. Or a shark. Oh, don't look so worried. I'm not going to do anything bad. No? I hate myself for feeling this way, but I'm almost disappointed. Almost. What the hell has this girl done to me? No, it's not anything that you don't want. Ha ha, Belle. But she doesn't listen to my feeble protest. I don't blame her. It's not like I've made a very intellectual case for myself during these past 5 minutes or so. She takes hold of my hand, her fingers entwined with mine, and turns to leave. I follow her I follow her for want of knowing what else to do. Her willing captive. I think we only got what? Let me check real quick. Yeah, just 2 trophies left and then the platinum's got, so we should be finishing this story today. She leads me across the bridge, and I walk behind her, our footsteps merging into one single noise. She could go anywhere, and in my current state, I would follow her, right to the bottom of the lake, or even to the ends of the earth. I'm enthralled, much like the rats that followed the Pied Piper of Hamelin to their untimely deaths. Doot, 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 doot. Oh, we're back here. And we're here. I blink, looking around. I was so lost in my own thoughts, slow and slurpy, that I completely forgot to pay attention to my surroundings. It's the park. I went here with Belle before when she ate that stupid ice cream, her eyes half lidded and her lips pursed. The playground equipment looks eerie under the moonlight. The paint flaking, the rusted swings creaking back and forth in the wind. There are no other people. We're the only ones here. Of course we are. It's 1 in the morning. What kind of parent would let their children go out at such an hour? Alcoholics? Drug users? Fans of the Carolina Panthers? I know I'm not the best father, but I would never permit Melly to do something like this. Melly. We still haven't seen what Melly looks like, you know? That's the weird thing. I wonder how she is. Is she tucked up in her bed, fast asleep? Maybe not. Joan Flores said she was something of an insomniac. That's why she seems to muddle through life. Her head hanging, dark bags under her eyes. Golf would help with that, watching golf, or watching one of my streams. It hurts knowing your one and only child might be suffering and be unable to do anything about it, incapable of helping. Maybe that's why I started avoiding her. Maybe that's why I stopped talking to her, looking into her eyes filled with a vague misery I could not understand. Hurt. It made me feel like a failure. I wanted to help her, but I didn't know what to do. In the end, I made it even worse. I really am a bad person. If I wasn't, would I be allowing Belle to drag me around the park past midnight? This is no fairy story. This isn't romantic. I'm just an unfaithful husband, a distant father who's trying to abandon all responsibilities. It must have been easy for Belle to dig her claws into me. I walked into her embrace with open arms. Bad Robin. Bruce Wayne taught you better. Robin, Robin, I really do love you. But why? Because you're letting me. Because from the moment we met, you decided to open your heart to me. I can't deny it. It is true. I made this game of cat and mouse rather easy, didn't I? I didn't put up even the slightest bit of resistance. Belle's hands grip mine, tight. She looks up at me with those large emerald green eyes, a small smile tugging at the corners of her lips. I already told you, Robin. You're all mine. I'm not going to let you get away now. Uh-oh. Call the police! We are the police. FBI, open up. We know outside. And with that, she gets on the tips of her toes. She might be a demon, but she's still too short to reach my lips unaided, and presses her mouth against mine. The kiss is hard, forceful, and demanding. I gasp in surprise. Belle uses this to her advantage. She slips her tongue in my mouth and wraps her arms around me, holding my body against hers. For such a short girl, she really is strong. I don't know where she stores it all, honestly, especially when her arms are so skinny. I break away from the kiss, breathing heavily. I can hear my heart hammering in my chest. Blood rushes to my cheeks. It's cold. It's a cold night, but I can feel myself blushing. A strand of saliva connects our open lips, slimmering under the moonlight. It looks indecent. I turn my head, severing with the slightest gesture. I shouldn't be doing this. I shouldn't let myself get carried away. That's what she wants. I'm sure of it, but I don't understand. What do you want from me? I already told you. Weren't you listening? I want everything. But why? Isn't it obvious? Is it because it's because you love me, right? That's right. I love you more than anybody ever has done, Robin, and anybody ever will. But I still don't understand. Yeah, men are stupid. I can vaguely wrap my head around why Annabelle Whip might be interested in me. And as Sally showed me in the past, I am too nice to her, especially considering my deep lack of feeling towards her. Though I try to avoid talking with her when I can, she's engaged me in discussions about her drawn-out divorce more times than I can count. The fact that I've complimented her on her appearance a few times in the past, I can't help it. She is a very pretty woman, and let her cry into my chest at Coaster last week probably didn't help. Time to take a drinky drink. Not alcohol yet. Mavs game hasn't started. But I don't understand why Belle likes me so much. It's true that I tried to save her, but the fact remains that I didn't. I didn't do a damn thing unless you want to count nearly drowning. I wonder if she likes that in a man, being pathetic and helpless. I'm certainly not offering much resistance against her onslaught right now. Maybe it's because despite my protest, I don't want to. I don't know what I want. It's all so confusing. My head is starting to hurt. There are far too many things to keep track of, too many things to feel guilty about. It would be easier to forget and just focus on sensations, the none too soft sucking against my swollen lower lip. But how can I? Belle, I don't think you should be doing this. I can do what I want. But at the very least, I shouldn't be doing this. I mean, I'm married. But you don't love her, Belle. You don't love her like you love me. How could I possibly love you? I've only known you for a few days. Maybe, but that can all change. I want it to. Belle. Shh. I'm not a fan of all this talk. Humans all talk too much. Why do you have to try and rationalize every little thing? Just enjoy it. Belle presses her lips against mine once more. I feel lightheaded. It's hard to breathe. I think I'm going to pass out. It's a cold night and Belle's touch is frigid, but her lips are so warm. I'm melting. Oh, what a word. Belle, I love you. I love you too, Robin. I love you. Oh, what the hell? I can hardly think at all. I'm drowning in a wave of feeling. Belle's fingers are against my back, her body around mine. I hold her tightly. I can feel her trembling as though she's falling apart in my arms. I won't let go of her, I told myself I wouldn't. I want to protect her. I didn't know there'd be flashing warnings. Her skin is so soft, so smooth, so white, like the inside of a conch shell. She really is beautiful, especially underneath the moonlight. Even the parts of her body that are slightly less perfect. Even the scar that runs from the small of her back to the bottom of her spine. It's a long line of puckered skin that would be most invisible to the naked eye, but I can feel it beneath the tips of my moving fingers. It's strange, actually, that you would have such a scar. It's nostalgic. It takes me back. I remember dimly with the part of my brain that isn't currently occupied with weird sensations. Something that happened to Melly when she was younger. She was out on her roller skates when it happened. She must have stumbled and lost her balance. I think she landed awkwardly. She sprained her leg and got a few nasty bruises, but that wasn't the worst of her injuries. Somehow when she fell she sustained a deep wound. It was a cut that extended from the small of her back and all the way down to the bottom of her spine. Wait a minute. Don't tell me I've been playing a game that's weird. Like that Wendell's Daydream I did a few years ago. Belle looks at me, her head tilted to one side. Her hair is a little messy and her face is flushed. But her lips are curved in a triumphant smile. I know that smile. I thought I did from the very moment I met her. I knew something looked familiar. Painfully familiar, in fact, but I didn't guess. I couldn't tell. How could I when Belle's eyes are so wide, so big, so unmistakably green? She doesn't have green eyes. She has brown eyes like a wooden deer, brown eyes like mine. But there are a few details here and there that are slightly subtly different the rest of her face. That nose, the chin, those lips, all of a sudden incredibly horrifying clear. It's as if after much fumbling I finally adjusted the focus on a magnifying glass. I'd definitely seen this face before. I've seen it more times than I could ever count. What is it, Robin? Did you realize something? Realize isn't a strong enough word. I just had a revelation. But it's already too late. Millie, you, oh my God, if I had known I wouldn't have ever have, fuck. Millie, you're Millie. Belle doesn't refute my words. I wish she would. My God, I wish she would. She's only giggling that familiar little giggle of hers and slips slightly on my lap. Well, that's horrifying. It took you long enough to figure out, dummy. Well, that's scary. You know, vomiting right after you made love to a girl is kind of rude. I'm feeling pretty unappreciated here. I don't have anything to say. English was never my strong point and the words have all gone. Well, I was not expecting that twist. I sit there dazed, staring at Melly. Belle, I don't know. I have no idea who this girl is anymore. She looks so much like Melly, but has none of her mannerisms. She shares every single one of her scars, her birthmarks, even her bitten fingernails. but doesn't have her stammered speech, her hanging head, her crippling social anxiety. Who is this? What's going on? What on earth are you? I already told you, silly. I'm a spirit. Belle grinned smugly like a cat who just caught a mouse. But she isn't Belle. Melly, my only daughter, my little girl. What did you do? What did you do to my daughter? Oh, this is my fault, is it? I think the real question is, what did you do to her, Robin? Fuck. Yeah, there was a lot of that. I can still feel it. I'm kind of sore now. Oh boy. I feel the bile rising back up to my throat again. I thought I already vomited up whatever I've eaten over the last 24 hours. I guess not. My throat burns, my mouth tastes foul. Despite being sick, I can still remember the feeling of those kisses against my lips. Her mouth was warm. I'm ashamed to admit it, but it felt good. Oh God, oh God, oh God. Yeah, I'm sure Tassik's like, Doug, you need to go to church now. You've probably worked this out already, but... Belle turns, her skirt fluttering around her thighs. She holds her hands behind her back in a deceptive, demean way, a sweet little smile playing across her face. I was kind of lying to you before when I said this human form was all my own. It wasn't entirely original after all. I had to cut a few corners here and there, you see. So you stole my daughter's... More or less, she says, accompanying her words with a casual smug, more or less, as though it doesn't matter, as though it's no big deal. Fuck. I was too weak to assume a human form on my own. I used to be able to do that back in the good old days, but a few things went kind of wrong. I'm not the most popular spirits out there, you see, and I got into one or two fights. I lost most of my powers. From the moment on, I couldn't really do anything more than a low-level possession. I had to attach my consciousness to some kind of living creature or I die. That's when I decided, why not cats? Cats were easier for me to possess than humans back then, and anyway, I like cats. Who doesn't like cats? They're so regal. It's no wonder the Egyptians refer to them as gods. They come and go as they please and do whatever they want, so a cat. I went for a few cats, actually. They don't live all that long, so I had to keep swapping. It was kind of fun for the first 10 years or so, but after that, it really takes a toll on you. Nobody talks to cats, and if they do, they don't expect an answer since cats can't talk. I couldn't exactly respond either. My vocal cords won't cut out for it. I felt like I was going insane. Insane in the brain. Maybe I did. I know I already told you this, but I think I really would have lost my mind if you haven't tried to save me back then. It gave me a reason to keep going, to keep living. That was when I decided to get my hands, not that I had hands, on a human body as quickly as possible. But why did you choose my Melly? Well, why did I wonder. Belle smiles through Melly's mouth, distorting into a coy little grin that makes my stomach turn. Oh, so Melly's possessed by Belle. Okay, that doesn't make me feel any better, but there are a few reasons. I won't bore you by giving too technical an explanation, so I'll try to gloss over them. Firstly, she lived close to you. I decided since you were the one who saved me, I wanted to stick by your side and thank you for your help. I don't like being in debt to other people, you know. Secondly, she was depressed. Depressed people are always easier to possess, since they'll put up less of a fight. I guess they don't value their lives all that much. Poor Melody was so conflicted, and she hated herself so very much. Having a father with such high expectations didn't help. She was living from day to day because she had to. She was not a real human being, but a shadow. She was only doing what society demanded. Even so, she was miserable and hated her life. She wanted out of it, but she was too afraid to commit and kill herself. Not after what happened last time. I must have seemed like an angel to her when I made my presence known. I think she was quite happy about it. I took the baton, so to speak, and let her bow out of her own life for a short while. I was just picking up the slack, so I don't think I was doing anything wrong. Not really. Not until I began to approach you. Melly started to realize something was up then. She tried to fight back, but I don't think she'll be voicing her complaints any longer. Belle smiles, evidently pleased with herself, and stretches her arms high above her head. Her joints click, the bones sliding against one another. I guess that means this body really is all mine. I finally managed to become a real human again. But why? You said I tried to save you. I nearly died because of you, and you repay me by killing my only daughter? Now, don't be so melodramatic. I was trying to be nice. What? I didn't have to introduce myself to you. I could have possessed Melly slowly without you being any the wiser. It would have made this a lot easier, actually, and you never would have suspected a thing. I changed my mind, though. I thought it would be dishonest, and I wasn't lying when I said I loved you, Robin. I really did want to see you again, and I didn't want to do it as your daughter. I had no choice but to speak to you through her body, but I wanted you to see me for who I really am. I wanted to be me. I've only acted the way I have out of love. You just can't understand it because you're human. You humans can't live as long as we do. You might never be able to understand, but I really did want to make you happy. What do you mean? How do you think doing that would make me happy? I was doing you a favor, wasn't I? A favor? Yes. I mean, you don't love your daughter, do you? That isn't true. I love her. I love her a lot. She's my Melody. But you haven't had a proper conversation with her in years. Melody told me. You told me. You're like strangers. Maybe, but we didn't speak to one another much, but you can try and argue however you want, but it doesn't change the facts. You haven't loved her, or you would have realized who I was straight away. I bite down my lower lip, my face blanching. She's right. How can I call myself Melody's father when I never realized this whole time Bella's interacting with me through her body? She was a disappointment. You wanted a daughter, but Melody wasn't the daughter you wanted. She was tone-deaf, clumsy, and so very, very shy, just like the ugly duckling from the fairy tale. It helped turn her into a beautiful swan. You said it yourself. You think I'm beautiful, don't you? I'm sure this is not this. Bella leans forward and takes hold of my face between her ice-cold hands. I only notice how now the significance of her poor shorn fingernails bending down to quick through years upon years of stress, anxiety, and constant worries. Those fingernails chewed and mangled like the surface of an alien planet don't belong to her. They ain't Belle's fingernails, the fingernails of a monarch, Marie Antoinette. The Melody's. Belle's whole body belongs to Melody. Every single one of Melody's memories, her thoughts and feelings are ingrained into Belle's skin, like an Egyptian hieroglyphs in the side of a rock. But I couldn't read any of those signs. I never even bothered to try. Is that because I don't love my daughter? Did I ever love her? This whole time was I just deluding myself. You should thank me, Robin. Melody should too. I was able to turn your disappointment of a daughter into somebody you can be proud of, somebody you can love, and you do love. You told me yourself. I wasn't lying either. I love you too, Robin. I love you so, so much, more than Melody ever did. I don't understand what you're so upset about. It's too late to develop a guilty conscience. I love you and you love me. And isn't that enough? I think it is. I've never been happier than I am right now. I want you to be happy too. Well, we've already... And I think that's the ending. Wow, that's was not expecting that twist, you know. So yeah, good job, game. Was not expecting that twist at all. So the question is then, what does Robin do? Because I have a feeling Melody's gone forever. The spirit of Belle's spirit took it over. Man, but wow, that's not what I was thinking. I should have figured that though, because we never saw Melody at all, except for the one time in the bedroom when she was asleep, allegedly, but... Damn. Oh, Tastic and Rosie, there's your weird bullshit. Of course, I had the music off because I don't want to get hit with copyright, because that's been happening a lot lately for some reason with some of these games. A good twist, guys. Again, I was not expecting that, so good job. Good job. Gonna have a feeling this game would end up on an episode of Law and Order, Special Victims Unit. Doom, 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 doom. There's gotta be more to this, or is that, because if that's it, that's kinda... We're not done yet. Kind of where the credits went through, so I guess there's still a little bit more to do. I don't think I slept a wink since last night. I tossed and turned, rumbling the devour up about me, so Sally moaned and mumbled to knock it off because her feet were getting cold. But I didn't fall into the land of dreams. Even if I managed it, I doubt I would have had any dreams. More like nightmares. Pale limbs, long and slender. Sooty back hair. Bright green eyes. Belle. Or is it Melody? Did any of that really happen? I don't know. Thoughts waltz around my head, but my body is slow and sluggish to process them. I can't keep up with the rapid movements of my mind. My head is filled with too many thoughts. The newer pathways inside my brain congested, but I'm so exhausted it's all I can do to keep my eyes open. My eyelids feel heavy, as though weighed down by lead. When the cheerful chirping of the birds greet me around 6 a.m., I want nothing more than to smother myself with the pillow. The never sounded more shrill or instant, not even on days when I have to wake up early and go to work. It's cold outside, but it feels far too hot and stuffy in the bed. Maybe it's because of Sally. Her body is soft and warm, filled with blood vessels and slowly digesting pork pie. That's what we had on our picnic yesterday in Wimberley. We had to eat it in the car given the torrential rain. I ate mine, throat convulsing while my neck was marked with Belle's incessant feverish kisses. I hear Sally raising from the bed at around 7:30. She yawns and slides and stretches and begins her daily routine, descending herself of a white, almost childlike nightgown and flashing her favorite blue jeans from the wardrobe. Sally's one of those strange people who, after taking her clothes off at the end of the day, hangs them back up in the wardrobe. She doesn't scatter garments over the floor and tuts at me whenever I do it. Don't ever think about it, mister. That's what she says. I listen to Sally getting dressed, hiding from humanity beneath the blankets. She's quiet, perhaps for my benefit. Maybe she thinks I'm still asleep. She doesn't want to inconvenience me. Is it because she loves me? Well, that makes it even worse. It would be easier if she hated me. If she finds out what really happened yesterday, she really would have hated me. Not that she would believe it. It's unimaginable. I don't know if I believe it myself. But I can still remember. It's far too detailed to be a mere wet dream and much too disturbing. I haven't had wet dreams since I was a teenager. My self-control isn't that bad. I curl up on myself like a cat in a basket, trying to cage at least the last few minutes of sleep, but it isn't to be. How can I sleep in this state? In any event, it's far too bright. Sunshine filters in through a crack in the curtains. The birds are still chirping. Don't they have anything better to do? Probably not. They are birds, after all. They wouldn't be expecting too much. I can't sleep. Maybe I'll never be able to sleep again. So I get up. What else can I do? I get up like it's any other day. I dress myself automatically, though my fingers tremble, and pad over to the bathroom. Brush my teeth, comb my hair, shave my face. The regularity is almost smoothing. Almost. There's something sickening about it, like I'm trying to turn my back on the truth. How can I stand to look at my own reflection in the mirror? How can I? Fuck. I walk downstairs on trembling legs. I have to grip the banister tight. I'm worried one wrong move will make me fall, and I'll end up battered and broken on the floor. That might be preferable to what will happen if anybody finds out about last night. I feel terrible. Uh-oh. Melody. Good morning, Dad. Wait a minute. Dad? I stare, saw-jacked eyes open. My expression is so exaggerated I probably look like a cartoon character. When I turn the familiar handle of the kitchen door, now remained unfamiliar after the events of last night, I never expected to encounter this. Melody is sitting at the kitchen table. My Melody. My daughter Melody. Hawkins. It's her. It's undeniably her. Her long black hair falls short about her bare shoulders with a small smile fit across her lips. Her eyes are brown. Her eyes have always been brown. It is true she bears a striking resemblance to Belle. They have the same skinny limbs, the same slight stature, even the same bitten fingernails. But there are a few key differences, so stuck between the pair they can't possibly be the same. They can't. Melody has Sally's nose and lips, but my eyes. That's because she's my little girl. My little girl who hasn't come down to eat breakfast with me in oh so long. I can't even remember months, maybe a whole year? Oh, hopefully everything was a dream. Ness and Sally and I found her in the bathroom, curled up inside the tub. Her eyes were open, but just barely, and her chest rose and fell so subtly she could have been a corpse. She was so cold, limp, and lifeless, I almost thought she was a corpse. Modi tried to kill herself 1 year ago. Sally and I called an ambulance. We went to the hospital with her. Sally was crying. I was too surprised to do anything much other than swear under my breath. My knuckles clenched together. I probably looked like I was going to hit somebody. The doctors pumped her stomach. She was sick for a few weeks and had to take some time off school. But she was fine in the end. As right as rain, one of the nurses said, a smiley woman with caramel-colored hair. I liked that nurse a lot. She made my awkward trips to the hospital almost bearable. Melody certainly never made an effort. She just sat in the hospital bed silently, like a statue, never saying a word. She seemed more interested in staring at the wall than my face. It was almost like I had wronged her, which was ridiculous. She was the one who tried to kill herself. But maybe she was tired of making an effort. She must have been making an effort for a long, long time until it all became too much. Okay, the start of this, it was fun, but now it's like the last few minutes or so, it's kind of really fucked up, man. She wanted to kill herself, and I never realized. After that, she became something of a recluse. She was always hiding away in her room. She never came down for breakfast. She walked herself to school. She graced us with her presence at the dinner table for 5 or 6 minutes per evening. That's it, when she bothered to come down at all. Even then, she never lifted her head, never looked at my face. Can it really be? After all this time, is she really back? Melody? Hey, Dad. Melody tips her head to one side. The sunlight shines in through the window, catching her hair so it glistens. For once, she isn't wearing one of those awful oversized hoodies she favors. She's dressed in something soft and feminine that actually flatters her figure, and it's displaying a bit of skin, too. I always knew she would look cute if she tried. She just stopped trying. I know I bored you a little this last year, and I really am sorry. I was going through a hard time. But Mom spoke to me yesterday after we got back from the trip. She said that you were really trying hard, and it made me think about some things. I thought maybe I didn't appreciate everything you did for me, and I know I can be kind of difficult. I don't think it would make everything better, and it might be a little hard, but for what it's worth, She glances up at me beneath her eyelash shyly, so demeanor it takes my breath away. She's far more beautiful than I even dared to imagine. She became so beautiful in such a short space of time, and I missed it. I never noticed it because I didn't pay attention. I'm sorry. It's fine, Melly. I cough. Obviously things ain't fine. I don't know if they'll be fine for a while, and it would be delusional to say that they are, but... Robin? Sally rests her hand on my shoulder. She gives me a warning look. You're saying too much again. Yes, sorry. Melanie laughs. She actually laughs. It's a light, genuine sound, soft and musical, like a chiming bell. Bell. And what do you think of Melody's new dress? It's pretty, isn't it? Oh, yes, I was just about to say it looks... familiar. Disturbingly so. Didn't I see that dress last night? Uh-oh. I took Melly out shopping a few weeks ago. She's been wearing nothing but sweaters and hoodies lately, and well, thought she never bothered with her appearance too much. She's a girl. I thought she might appreciate some new clothes. If you're on a rut, changing your wardrobe can't help. It's rather simple. But human brains aren't overly complex. Sometimes you just need a change of pace. You're right, Mom. I feel a lot better now. I knew you would. You just had to trust me. Wait, so, did you pick this dress, Sally? I thought it was cute, and it was on sale. Isn't it a bit revealing? Oh, don't be silly. Melody is a teenager. She's old enough to show a little bit of skin. She's not a little girl anymore. I was a little embarrassed to wear it at first, but I don't usually dress like this. But Mom was so insistent, and since she paid for it, I thought I might as well. And I was right. Sally smiles proudly, one hand on her hip. You look lovely, Melly, and all the boys will be after you if you go out like this. Well, I don't know if I want that. It might be a bit much. Let's take it one step at a time. You don't need to be going to a cocktail parties just yet. Hee. Well, I'm not old enough to drink, and I don't think Dad would appreciate it if I started dating. I just had to get used to it. It's healthy to have one or two boyfriends at your age. I don't think you've had nearly enough life experience. Sally, what the fuck? That's what Joan Flores says. She's right about that. You spent too long locked up inside your room. Well, I still feel a little self-conscious. But if it would make you too happy, I can try to make an effort. That's really all we're asking, Melly, dear. I'm so happy you've been feeling better. I really have, and it's all thanks to you two. It's because you two never stop supporting me, no matter what. Of course, we're your parents, Melly. I know, but over the past few weeks, I think you've done more for me than parents ever would. I know I have been difficult at times, and it's not possible to rewrite the past, but we can try to start afresh. We can start over. Oh, Melly, do you really mean that? Yeah, I do. I really do. I love you, Mom, and... Melody looks at me, her hair spilling over her shoulders, dark black against white ivory, just like the keys of a piano. And I really do love you, Dad. I don't like the fact it had the question mark with Melody's name. So was it Melody or Belle who said that is the question? And there's the eyes turning green. Wow, so so is Belle still in control then? Very effed up ending, I gotta admit. Was not expecting that, but that is done with the Sweetest monster. Oh, and then it changes to... Oh, wow, that's... Let's see if there's any extras in this. Yep, notes. Let's take a look at the notes. Hello, everybody, and thank you for reading Sweetest Monster. If you're here, that means you finished reading the story, and I wonder what you think of it. But you survived, and that's the most important thing. This visual novel has been in production for a while. I wrote the script in August 2015, then spent a very long sitting on it, mostly because I was worried what people would think. The story is quite different from anything else I've written, and I also think it's meaner to the reader. At this time I wrote this, VNs like Napoleon the Sakura series were and still are the most popular best-selling VNs on Steam. I decided I should try writing something fan service too. I mean, that's what sells. However, I don't think this story ended up too overly fan-serving. The atmosphere, though, it's pretty creepy, with lots of washed-out color patterns, a gloomy/rainy setting, and the eerie music. My general aim was to write a VN with fan service elements, but those primary goal is to unsettle the reader rather than entitle them, as the VN medium is quite full of fan service stories already. I thought it would be interesting, if I was going to write a fan service VN, to make it a bit different, as such a story feels kind of punishing towards the reader, because the twist exists more or less to make you feel bad, and to make the fan service scenes that precede it uncomfortable in hindsight. Yeah, I agree with that! Yeah, I know there are many, many more VNs out there that are more graphic age scenes with more disturbing content. Things like Sayok and Kogo come to mind. So this story isn't that unique at all. And it's actually quite tame compared to a lot of other JVNs. Even so, I hope the story and characters are well written enough for it to be effective. If the story was able to make you feel uncomfortable, I would be, well, you got that right. Alright, so we're just going to read all of this. One of the biggest inspirations of it was Nepal. That's probably obviously given the heroine is a cat girl. But there's a bit more to it. In that game, it stated chocolate is a loving doty towards... Now, I want to see the theme. So, yeah, I'm trying to think. I guess Belle, from what I could gather after beating this, Belle possesses Melody, but you don't know who's in control. But yeah, good job on faking me out, and of course we have the alt girl you unlock after completing the game. But we don't know who's in control, that is the thing. I think Belle is still in control, unfortunately, but she's going to play the daughter during the day. But anyway, that's been Sweetest Monster, everybody. Hope you've enjoyed this game and the twist ending, and I will see you all next time.